Alright guys, welcome to another Tabletop Ready Miniatures video. Super excited for this one. We're going to go out a little bit so we can see the whole thing without having to... Well, is that too much though? I guess we'll go 100 and just go through it. So, thanks for watching guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all our subscribers. Shout out to our Patreons. We appreciate you guys. Patrons on Patreon. Thank you. Doing a video of Kragnos' Warscroll. I know this is late. I'm sure everyone and their mom's already done one, which is fine and dandy. But I love this model. You guys know I am a big Destruction fan. I have 3 of the 4. Is there 4? Sons of Behemoth. I have Sons of Behemoth, Gloomspite Gits, and Ogres, and I think the only one's what? The Orcs. So, yeah. And I will probably even eventually get those too, because I love Orcs. I love me some good Orcs. But yeah, I'm a huge Destruction fan, so to have our own god, I feel like everyone else has had their own guys, right? So you've had Archaeon for forever and a day. Chaos, I don't know if he's a god per se, but he's this like ridiculous, a million rules, fantastic, 800-point monster. You've had Nagash forever and a day. This stupid, super magic-y, undead, hard to kill sucker. You've had Alariel, who's a god, kind of weak sauce, but still a god. Who else? Well, and then obviously you got Teclis now, who I think is a fantastic character. Really, it's really cool the fact that we have him. Yeah. So like I said, all of these factions, in granted orders, it's been new. Actually, not even newer because Alariel's been there forever. So, but yeah. So you have these gods literally, for all these different factions, and Destruction, nothing to be seen, right? Yeah, we got Mega Gargants, and there's close to a freaking god as can be, with just how many wounds and all the funness that they are, and I love them to death. But now we actually get our own centerpiece god, Kragnos, the End of Empires, a roaring, trampling god of earthquakes and wanton destruction. Kragnos is known as the End of Empires. In his gnarled hands, the dread mace can shatter the walls of cities, even as the shield Tusk Breaker, keeps him all but inviolate. Sure, we'll go with that. I watched Honest Wargamers take on this. They had a lot of good points, a lot of things that I saw as well. He's fun. We don't know how much he's going to cost. I think the biggest thing, there's 2 things. One is his book. What I'm saying? When Morathi came out, Morathi's a god too. Everyone's getting gods. That's what I forgot. Morathi's a god. So Order has 3 gods. Holy crap. So when Morathi came out, right? A bunch of different factions got updates. These little updates to rules and to war scrolls and fantastic things happening, and Morathi changed into a god and had all new stuff, which was cool, right? Teclis' book came out. He's already a god, but cool stuff. Be'lakor, which, like I said, I think he's a demon prince, right? The first demon prince, not necessarily a god, and that's the same with Archaeon. I'm sure that the Chaos gods, they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna allow minor gods. I mean, I guess the the Horned Rat is already a minor god. He's like the B team of Chaos gods, but they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna have this bull crap happen for us. But anyway, so what I'm saying, they're all getting books, right? And they do stuff, right? They allow these characters to be more than just even their war scrolls. So depending on what's in this Kragnos book, and what I'm saying, is also going to dictate how many points he is. So we'll go through, like I said, the different stuff, see kind of how effective he is. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, I already have one pre-ordered for me because I have, he's just going to be going with all of my different guys and just running around killing things. Probably he'll be mostly with my ogres because, being able to have this gigantic guy with ogres, I think will be fun. But excuse me. So so he's movement is starred. His hooves of rack and ruin attacks is starred, and then he has the Bellow of Rage. That's all of under his tiered damage table. 18 wounds, which was less than I thought. And maybe it's just because of the behemoths, right? Sons of Behemoth models, all being 35. I have like a new take on how many wounds these monsters people should be. But to be fair, it's somewhat in line with all of the other gods, right? Between like 16 and 24 type of a wound range. I still thought he should have more. I was hoping for over 20 at least, right? Like maybe 20, 22. But 18, it is what it is. Again, we'll see how many points he costs. His 2-up save, which I think is fantastic. So because there's not a whole ton. Everyone's got some. Most factions have something that's a -2 rend. So he'll be doing a lot of 3-ups and 4-up saving, which is good for him, with only 18 wounds and obviously 10 bravery because he's a god. His weapons, I think, are fairly decent. Not as many attacks as I expected. I was expecting. And I guess Hooves of Rack and Ruin, you add the 6 to start with, and he's at a 15 total attacks with 3 different weapons. But what I'm really impressed with is his to hit into wounds, right? So it's all 3-ups to hit, which it's okay, sure. Is Archaeon? I wonder. Because he really, I'm just taking him up against Archaeon. Like, what does he look like? Holding up against him. So Archaeon's. See, he's got 2d6. So you're at, if you average 7, and then the 3 heads attacks is 6. So that's 10. He's got 18. Or if you give him the average of 7 lashing tails, right? Yeah. See, Archaeon himself is hitting on 2s, but I guess he's wounding on 3s. So 6, 10, like 19 attacks. A ton of them are with these lashing tails, which aren't as effective for the Hydra. His little, and he does only have 20 wounds. So okay, I'm saying I'll give him 18, and he's got a better save. Anyway, and like I said, it's not like they're like tit for tat right here. These two, but I'm just kind of taking a look at them. So because they're all he's hitting on 3s completely. So it is what it is. But he's wounding on 2-ups, and Archaeon nothing wounds on a 2-up. So, it will be problematic for those who can make him like -1 to hit. That's where I think you'll run into big problems with him. One, because he doesn't have as many attacks as I think he should have, but also, like I said, then you're hitting on 4-ups. It's 2-up to wound, which is fantastic, and then there's obviously the different rends. Rend 3 is huge. That's, most things aren't getting an armor save at Rend 3, so, and 4 damage a pop. So it's really just if you hit, you're going to wound, and you're going to rend, so there's going to be no saves, and that's 4-ups. It is a 3-inch range, that weapon. Tusk Breaker, it's a good little shield, D3 damage. And then the hooves, I like that the hooves are 2 damage apiece, even though they're just -1. Does Archaeon have any? Yeah, so the 3 heads decreases. Lashing tails never do. Interesting. Anyway, movement 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, so he's still hoof-footed about, which is good. It's a good movement. And then you have the Bellow of Rage. So at the end of any phase, if any wounds are allocated to this model in that phase and not negated, and this is any phase, roll a dice for each other unit and each defensible terrain within 6 inches of this model, and roll a die if it's equal to or greater than the Bellow of Rage. This model's damage table, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, or the defensible terrain is destroyed. And then it tells you what it is. So I like that it's any phase, which makes it like you want to just run him in. You want to get him thrown in. You want him to punch and kick. And that's 6 inches. 6 inches is quite a far away thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing mortal wounds to him in the magic phase, hopefully he's within 1 or 2 units. If you're doing, then shooting, you're going to shoot him, and then you're going to fight him. It's, what I'm saying? He could quite possibly, depending on where he is wound-wise, he could be doing, and it is, 5 up, 4 up, 3 up. I think that's a bit much. I think it should have been 4, 3, 2, and then automatically. Or excuse me, a 4, 3, 2 automatic. Just because, on a 5 up, 9 wounds, you got to peel through half of them, and then it's 9 ups. But then again, I guess he's got good save. He's protected from spells as well, possibly. So yeah, I guess I feel like this tier, this Bellow of Rage tier, is they're thinking he's going to be tougher than he is, and there's so much in the game now that can just peel wounds relatively easily, and so I don't think he's as ridiculously tough to wound as they're thinking, and I think that's why they have him at that. But that's fantastic, and it's D3 mortal wounds, so you get him within 2 or 3 people, units or so, or I'm saying unit and a hero and all that stuff. You could be popping out quite a bit of more wounds. The Destroyer of the Kragnos Empire, just basically he doesn't like these different types of drakes, dragons. Someone made a joke that it's like as if Star Drakes weren't crap enough. Now Kragnos makes it easier to come in and kill him. So, and that's reroll charge rolls and hit rolls, which is insane. Rampaging Destruction, this is where they tease the whole, you could possibly do 36 mortal wounds in one go. And I think it's a great rule. And so after this model makes a charge move, you can either roll a die for each enemy unit that is within 1 inch of this model, or you can pick one enemy monster unit within 1 inch of this model and roll 2d6. So if you charge 2 monsters and a unit of infantry, you can still choose that first option. You don't have to choose the second. The second is only if you want to target 1 enemy monster. But if you charge 3 enemy monsters, you can roll a die for each for each unit. So if the first choice, if you roll a die for each enemy unit within 1 inch of this model on a 2-up, that unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. So again, if you charge like some behemoths or something like that, what I'm saying, you could literally, roll 3 or 4 die and do, which if you think about it, like depending on how many people you're charging, it could possibly be more worth it. Because you could do more total mortal wounds in total than normal. So then that unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. So fantastic, like I said. So you want to, and again with the Bellowing Rage too, you want to get him into combat with multiple, if possible, units. You want to get him in and be, popping and hitting and kicking and all that stuff. If you pick up 1 enemy monster within 1 inch of this model and roll 2d6 on a 7, nothing happens. So that's a 3 and a 4. It's a 5 and a 2. That's a 1 and a 6. On any other roll, that monster suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the score of the dice used for the 2d6 roll multiplied together. For example, 2d6 roll of a 2 and a 6 would inflict 12 mortal wounds. which, like I said, you should be able to pop, right? Because it's 2, 2 and 6, 3 and 5, 3 and 6, 4 and 5, 4 and 6, 5 and 5, 5 and 6, 6 and 6. A lot of those rolls are going to do 12 or more mortal wounds, which means there's a high, I think that someone said it was like 36 or 38% chance. So 1 in 3, you have a 1 in 3 chance of literally just popping a monster, because most monsters have 12 wounds. So you charge, you pick the one, you know what I'm saying? You have a 1 in 3 chance of literally just popping that sucker, and like an 18% chance of not popping it, like not doing nothing or something like that, which is still a that's fantastic. Then Icon of Destruction, add 1 to the bravery characteristic of destruction units wholly within 12 inches of the model, which is why part of why I want to take him in a Ogre Moth tribe, is just to give him more bravery. And then the shield, this is what I'm talking about with protection of spells. Each time this model is affected by a spell or endless spell ability, you can roll 3d6. If the roll is greater than the casting value of that spell or endless spell, ignore the effects of the spell or endless spell. Use the casting value on the spell or endless spell's Warscroll, not the casting roll for the spell or endless spell. So that's, like I said, he will be really hard to kill. To mortal wound, to effect with endless spells, to hand of dust. They always say, oh yeah, you can hand of dust him. You can, but he's gonna get to roll 3d6 and try to beat that, whatever that is, an 8 up or something like that. So, this shield, Tusk Breaker, is I think fantastic. It keeps him in the game with all of that ridiculous magic bullcrap. So, like I said, what do you think? His keywords are Destruction, Monster, Hero, and Kragnos. That's it. I think it's a fantastic guy. I think it's a fantastic model. I love the rules. They're not too crazy over the top. My only concern is that they overprice him point-wise. A lot of people were saying, between $450 and $550. If his book isn't giving him more stuff to take, like if you can't put him like Bellacor's whatever that he has from his book, if you don't have anything like that, I think he needs to be in the 400s. If he is able to bring things and get buffs from his book on top of what he's doing now, then I would be fine with him in the 500s. If he's anything more than if he is 600 or more, I think he's overpriced. Unless the rules he has on top of his Warscroll are insane. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, a good 480. I would take him at 480 all day. Just because he's fun, heavy hitting, hard to kill, almost immune to magic. An amazing model. So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Excited to get him. Excited to play with him. I'm gonna play with him with every single faction, but I think it'll be really cool to see him with some Sons of Behemoth, with some ogres. I don't know. It'll be cool. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget we do commissions. We're currently booked out to the end of June, and we possibly have at least one client who's actually looking to re-up and do some more commission work, which will probably get put into July. So if you're looking to get commissions done, you got to get with us. You got to get them on the books, so that we can help you get your miniatures tabletop ready. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you would like and love, we would love for you to help us with on our Patreon. Become a patron. There's a bunch of different cool things that you can get as a patron of our page. So, like I said, if you please consider supporting us in that way. And yeah, that's it for us. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. See you guys later.